Oh, boy. First and foremost, congratulations to the Baltimore Ravens. They got themselves that W and have taken the lead in the AFC North and clinched themselves a berth in the postseason. So kudos to you. I've always said this rivalry is not like the rivalry we have with Cincinnati. This is built off respect. Granted, the fan bases hate each other, but that's neither here nor there. I can always give credit to a Baltimore team if they went out there and got the W. Now, granted, this was very indicative of the first game that the Ravens just so happened to have had, where they made mistakes that cost them the game. Pittsburgh did the same. However, I'm not going to sit here and not give credit to Baltimore going out there and taking care of business. Derrick Henry cut off his dreadlocks, did not have those powers, but the cornrows were activated, and this man made us his children out there. You might as well call him Nick Cannon with the way his cornrows was activating, because he was giving birth to nothing but children across the opposite side of the field, because we looked like nothing but little boys trying to go and tackle this man. Missed tackles left and right. By the way, Patrick Queen, you were the player of the game ball in the first meetup in week 11. What play did you make today? Nothing whatsoever. Every time they put the camera on 6, you was getting sexed, sir. I hope you grabbed some lubricant for what was happening inside of your gluteal cleft this evening, because you were getting worked out there. However, this game falls on the shoulders offensively for Russell Wilson, because you made two crucial mistakes. The fumble, you got overzealous. We had an opportunity to go down the field and get ourselves a touchdown that would have given us our first and only lead of this game. But instead of just sliding at the 7, the 6, the 5, the 8, if you will, you decided to try to go see if you could tuck the football and make it to the end zone. Sir, you're 35, you're 36, whatever the case just so happens to be. You're not in your 20s anymore. Be safe. We're in field goal range. We've already got the first down. We're driving inside the 10. You just threw a touchdown to Michael Pruitt. We don't need you to go out there and try to be superhuman. Be safe. Sometimes it's okay to slide, especially when you're going to set yourself up for first and goal. What was your idea? You saw the defender. The football's on the outside arm. Defender's coming from the outside side. Slide. In today's game, they're going to throw the flag more often than not. You're putting yourself in a position to make plays that can cost us the game. Furthermore, we saw Baltimore put the ball on the ground 3 times. We didn't fall on it once. I mentioned it during my live stream. The moment that I saw the back-to-back fumbles and we didn't fall on top of it, I said, oh, this is bad. That's a bad omen. If that's not going to be the story of the game, I don't know what will. I knew it then in the first quarter, and I know it now at the conclusion of this game. We weren't meant to go out there and win the game, and we didn't execute the way that we should have to go and win the game, because there was, of course, the fumbles and everything of that nature played a role, but there were 3 other things outside of being unable to fall on top of fumbles. The last one, of course, was when the game was out of reach. So I should say those 2 fumbles early in the first quarter. But there were 3 things. 3 things. Number 1, Russell Wilson's fumble. Under no circumstances should you put yourself in a situation where that ball can be at risk. I understand fumbles have to be forced, and kudos to the Ravens being able to go and force that fumble out, but Russell should have slid there. Under no circumstances should you put yourself in that position, right? Should have slid. Secondly, 4th and 6, why are we taking a shot over the middle to Calvin Austin? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Why are we taking a shot down the field? We were slowly, incrementally working our way down the field. We should have used that 3rd down to set it up to where it can become a 4th and manageable. Granted, 4th and 6 is somewhat manageable, but why are we taking a shot? Middle of the field is there for us. I'm not understanding why we're not trying to go from short to intermediate. We don't need to take those kinds of shots on 4th down plays. Russell Wilson's capable of that, but that's the wrong personnel to go and take that shot. If that's Pickens who's on the field, that'd be great to go and take that shot. It's not Pickens. I believe in Calvin Austin, but over the middle, Kyle Hamilton, All-Pro, Pro Bowl safety coming across the field, I don't believe we have leverage, let alone an advantage in that position. That was a dumbass execution on the play there from Russell Wilson, and furthermore, that was a bad play call there from Arthur Smith, because it doesn't seem as if we had anybody on the intermediate or short routes to possibly get ourselves in position to pick up that first down. We've got to have better play calling and execution from Russell on that particular play. And then last, the pick 6. Minkah finally made a splash play that resulted in a turnover for the first time this season. We get the ball with an opportunity to go down the field and tie. Russell Wilson throws it behind Michael Pruitt. That results in a pick six from Marlon Humphrey. A couple of people talking about, why was there no taunting? This ain't the NCAA. You catch a motherfucking interception, you want to go into the end zone, give a pick six and say, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, AFC North is mine in this bitch from the Baltimore Ravens. You got to be able to stop them. Don't stop bitching about things that don't matter. I will say this much. Russell's got to throw that ball where Michael Pruitt is, not where he was. He threw the ball right behind him for absolutely no reason. It's not as if the pressure altered the pass. It did not. It did not. He could have thrown that ball to the outside and Michael Pruitt has to go and get it. Or maybe it sails incomplete. But you cannot throw it behind your receiver that's going to result in an interception that ends up transmogrifying into a touchdown. Those were the three mistakes that we made outside of not falling onto those fumbles in early in the first quarter. If we don't have Russell Wilson fumble the damn football, if we don't try to take a shot deep down the field on a fourth down, if we don't throw a motherfucking pick six, this game possibly has a different outcome. Furthermore, second consecutive week, we can't tackle on defense. What the fuck is we doing? We looking like the 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017 Steelers. We can't tackle? We don't know how to stop somebody? First person coming through the hole, we can't seem to get a hand on the ball carrier. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. We've got to be able to make tackles on first down, on second down, on third down, and get off the field. This wasn't even one of those games where penalties came back to haunt us. It didn't. We only had 5 accepted penalties for what, like 29, 30 some yards? This was one of those situations where we did not execute. And I'll give credit to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens because they went out there offensively and they took care of business. They made enough plays to win the game. That pass on third down from Lamar over to Zay Flowers, that's why he's a 2-time MVP. He caught him in stride. Oh, well, our secondary is banged up. We had no Dante Jackson. We lost Joey Porter. We've only got one starter remaining with Minkah Fitzpatrick. It don't matter. Next man up. This is the AFC North. Injuries is going to happen. We've got dynamic impact players on the field that need to go and make plays. Patrick Queen, as I mentioned earlier, you got to go out there and make plays. TJ Watt, hey, remember, we were leaning and favoring you for Defensive Player of the Year, right? What'd you do today? Couple of assisted tackles, 1 solo tackles, damn near didn't touch the quarterback all day. Lamar never fell to you all day. You got to go out there and make plays, period. Alex Highsmith had to strip early. We didn't fall on top of the fumble, but outside of that, we didn't really do too much. We added pressure, but we were about a second late every single time. Split second late every single time. But the story of this game is on offense. And we desperately, desperately, desperately need George Pickens back. I don't know if he'll be healthy for the game on Christmas on Netflix against the Kansas City Chiefs, the 2-time reigning defending undisputed Super Bowl champions of the world, but we desperately need George Pickens back because I have absolutely no faith in the offense to be able to go out there and execute consistently if we don't have George Pickens out there. Because we're only taking shots, really, with Calvin Austin, and that's it. Mike Williams on the field. Why don't we try a deep ball to him? Pratt Freiermuth, this man should be averaging like 8-9 targets. If they leave him one-on-one, we've got to put him in a situation where we can see if he can win. It's as if we're not trying to make those impact plays. And furthermore, there was another moment late in the game, and I'm sorry I didn't mention this earlier. Last week, we had a 4th and 7, I believe. We didn't go for it. I let that slide. But we were unable to get the stops on defense, and we only snapped the ball 11 times. Knowing that, this week, we've got a 4th and 12 prior to the 4th and 12 snap on 3rd and 11. We run a screen, terrible fucking play call. That play is designed for a second down in that down and distance at this period of the game. Terrible play call. And then 4th and 12, I don't give a damn. We're trailing by 2 scores, whatever the case may be. We have got to go for it there. Because we're absolutely flat. Well, we're going to give them a short field. If we punt the ball anyway, we're still trailing and there's not enough time that remains. We've got to go for it there. This game was on the offense more than it was on the defense, but still collectively, this has been a bad output in the last 2 weeks. We got the playoff berth, which is cool, but I'm not going to sit here and cope and say, well, the goal of the season was to make it back to the playoffs, not have a losing season, and possibly compete. every single time that we lace up our damn cleats, we're competing to see if we can go and win a Lombardi on the stairway to 7. And the way that we're playing right now will not get us there. I could hear people coping already. Well, the Texans are dealing with a number of injuries. They're the number 4 seed. Even if Baltimore wins the division, then we would have to play against Houston. I don't give a damn about what weeks down the line looks like. We've got to be able to win games now because we're starting to create habits that will lose football games. Back-to-back weeks, we've lost by 2 scores. This game, 3 scores. The way we're playing right now is not winning football, period. Offensively, defensively, and we're not making splash plays on special teams, let alone recovering those damn fumbles. Because our special teams was operating as the best in the league through 12 weeks, and suddenly we don't know how to take advantage of plays. So we're going to need to fix this on an incredibly short week, Christmas Day, and make every Pittsburgh Steelers fan Christmas wish come true and win against the reigning champions who have found ways to win games in tight spots. It's damn near the Mike Tomlin somehow miracles of God against the Kansas City Chiefs devil worship, and who's going to be the first one to break first from the chains of somehow making things work out in their favor. Because the way we playing right now, I'm telling you something, it's going to be an incredibly close game. We hosting the champions. All of a sudden, we're going to find a way to lose games if we keep playing like this. We desperately need George Pickens back, but we could have won this week and dare I say last week if we didn't find ways to lose games. I'll give credit to our opponents again, but still, we cannot participate in the downfall of this football team. If we're going to lose, let us lose outright and be a situation where we're like, hey, today, that was the better football team. And indeed, Baltimore was indeed that. But we've got some things that we got to look at on film and say, hey, man, we don't make this problem. This is a different football game. We don't make this mistake. That's a different football game. We make this tackle over here. This is a different football game. And you need to have some form of pride because coming into this game, we were number 4th ranked rush defense. Derrick Henry came out here and rubbed his nutsack against our entire defense. Dragging defenders, running through arm tackles, running over individuals, stiff-arming people into oblivion. Zay Flowers catching passes whenever he wanted. Baltimore taunting in your face. What are y'all going to do about that? You ain't going to have an opportunity to see them again until postseason. Granted, we're a shoe-in, we're a lock there, they're a lock in there. Can't get your revenge until then. We'll cross that bridge when we have to, but we can only focus on what's in front of us, and that's Kansas City this upcoming Wednesday. So y'all motherfuckers better get y'all shit together because you lose 3 straight. Let me tell you something right now. You'll still have the 5 seed in front of Los Angeles and Denver, but that can only last for so long. You do recognize that, right? You want to fall back down to the 7th seed? You want to be one of those teams that it's a healthy scratch to say, hey, you're going to lose a game in the postseason? What's the goal of this year? Is it just to get that playoff berth and just say, hey, we made it? Or is it to actually be a team that can contend? Because just when you started to get yourself in a position to where the media started talking about you in a positive light, you lost that. So now you got 3 days to respond. Or get yourself prepared, and then on the 4th day, we go and we take on Kansas City. Because this right here, this ain't winning football. And Russell, this one's on you. So how are you going to respond? Because instead of playing like Mr. Unlimited, you played like unlimited diarrhea. So you got to get it together. Steelers on 3, get it together on 6. 1, 2, 3 Steelers. 4, 5, 6, get it together. This kind of brand of football ain't winning us no damn games, fam. This ain't going to win us no damn games. People calling us a fluke. They calling us phonies. And from where we playing right now, they looking right. What y'all gonna do about that? You got 4 days. You got 4 days. Hey, I appreciate you watching the entire video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button on the way out if you haven't already. And on top of that, hit that notification bell as well. For whatever reason, YouTube's only showing my videos to 20% of my subscribers. So if you have already turned on the notification bell, turn it off, turn it back on. If you never turn it on, turn it on. I appreciate you.